He puts it on her face, under her nose. It touches her face. And then he takes his whole hand and he just puts it on her cheek.
All three of us here have never been touched by a man in our life.
Welcome to The Story Thinker, a Webtoons and Witcher podcast for superfans with scene-by-scene analysis. Featuring sharp co-hosts for a fuller picture, we dive deep into character psychology, relationships, and theories. We'd love it if you could like, subscribe, comment, and rate us on all podcast platforms and social media. For bonus content, you can support The Story Thinker on Patreon. Let's begin.
Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 151 of Purple Hyacinth, Crucial Choice. And we have Meg back, and we have a new podcast co-host, Mossy. And everyone say hi, and Mossy, introduce yourself.
Yes, so I am Mossy. I lurk in the Phantom Scythe a lot, so some people there might already know me. I got on Purple Hyacinth in May of this year, right with Circus Arc 2.0. And honestly, the moment I discovered it, I was like, I am obsessed. This is such an amazing webtoon. So I binged everything, and I have been deeply obsessed ever since. So I'm excited to be here.
Oh, I love it. It's so much fun to hear like enthusiasm. We're like enthusiastic as well, but it's so sweet and heartening to hear how stories and Purple Hyacinth change people's lives and just enrich our lives so much. And it's just sweet. It's sweet. I love it.
Oh, absolutely.
I've met some like, I've been here so long, I don't know what it's like to feel like.
Oh no.
I'm trying to remember when I came into Purple Hyacinth. I'll have to look to like jog my memory, but I was not even like an OG. Like I didn't see it on Canva. I didn't see it. Like on Canvas. I didn't see it on like, I was somewhere in the middle. But anyway, yes, it's been a while, I guess.
I did find it during its opening week. So I've given it a lot, like most of my fast pass coins, most of them.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Mossy, you chose to come on a good episode.
Yes.
So in the beginning is just a repeat of the panels where, Kieran and Lauren are with Darcy and kidnapping, killing her. So yes. And then we, it's just more of the flashback of the parents discovering the bloody bedroom. And we do have a panel, like a new panel of a detective taking a picture of the heart and the Purple Hyacinth and the bloodstains. So, and I think it looks like Will inside there. It's someone blonde.
Oh yes, might be.
And is that Cooper? No. Does Cooper have that hair color? Cooper has a beard. The detective taking the picture.
I think he has that hair color.
Okay.
I don't know Will though. I don't know. Because he found out about it in the office with everybody else.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
True. I mean, I guess this could be after that, but yeah, or maybe it's just there's probably more than one blonde police officer in 11th precinct.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not quite sure like why we even got these panels, to be frank, but whatever. They're there.
Yeah, I guess just a little bit extra development, just showing it's a crime, all right.
Although I have to say, like, I wonder how well he staged it. Like, is there a stab mark in the middle of the mattress? Did he did he try and like lacerate the heart at all? Did he like how dedicated was he to this act? I would think he would be dedicated. I would hope anyway, because this whole thing already is sketchy, even if he is dedicated.
Yeah, you would hope that like after so many real murders, he would kind of know how to stage a fake one. Like you'd hope that he kind of has a sense. That's true.
Or
that's true. But you'd think he's at least familiar with like what a crime scene looks like, and hopefully he can then make it realistic based on his
bloody
knowledge.
handprint, slide it down the glass.
Oh my god.
Yeah. God, there's so much blood. Like, how did the blood like get all over the curtains and like the drapes on the bed? Like, what happened?
Lily talked about this last time. She said that the heart has so much pressure it can shoot up to.
Oh god.
When you
just imagine Kieran dancing around the bedroom with like a bucket of blood, just going woo.
Yeah, it's just woo.
With like blood.
Splash.
But I did notice that the sheets are rumpled now because previously they were like flat as like ironed on. They were like not at all disturbed. So I'm happy to see they're actually disturbed now.
Definitely.
I feel like we should have left intestines or something. Like I feel like we should have left more than a heart. That's just my gut, but
For the extra gruesome factor.
Yeah, well, Soft Baby probably couldn't do the gore. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Well, he's a neat murderer. All right, so now we have the encounter on the bridge where, last, whatever, 2 episodes ago, we learned that, she repeats her line, congratulations, 𝗵𝗲𝗱𝗁, you have successfully failed your murder.
Oh, because they're big on parallels and how Lauren looks absolutely just like thrilled, like, yes, we're finally making progress. And Kieran just looks devastated because he knows what this means. Like, so he's just like, oh. So
no, absolutely.
That was a very elaborate groan.
Oh yes,
no, I love her little
moaning here.
Yeah, so much. Love that.
Yeah, it's a good premonition of what's to come and like the emotional states that they're both in. She's pleased and he is worried.
Yeah.
So now we'll get into it. And he starts off and he says, I can't thank you enough for your help. Oh,
it's so cute.
I know, right away. I mean, we talked about this like previously, but the change from when people have someone that they can rely on, someone that they have developed a relationship with, he's close. Like he can be vulnerable with her. It takes vulnerability just to say thank you, to recognize that you owe someone a debt. You're not perfect.
Yeah.
You're not alone. You're not doing it all yourself. So even that, like a simple thank you, is just showing how far they've come.
Oh, absolutely. No, I think, the progression of, the fact that he asked her for help last episode, and then this episode is thanking her for her help. Just both of those are so huge for him, just to be able to, he's not alone anymore, and he's realizing that, and he's very grateful to her for that. And it's just, I love it. I love them.
I feel like Karen has been in simp mode and thank you and kiss the ground you walk on mode for like past 100 episodes though. Like the boy's been trying hard.
Oh,
like you can't say that this thank you is like a new occurrence for him because he's been doing it for like the past 100 episodes. A combination of I'm sorry and thank you.
Yeah. And Lauren's response is also very affectionate in her own way, of course. She says, killed for the liberal interpretation of your mission. That'll be thanks enough. Which is saying, my thanks is you. You are what I want. You alive is my present.
Yes. Oh, it's so good. They're both like at this point, I'm like, okay, you guys are both in love. When are you gonna realize it? We're aware of it. You guys just kiss.
Do you think, just sidebar, like, do you think that they're separately aware of it? Like, Kieran is very aware of his feelings.
Yes.
I think Lauren is becoming aware, but I think at this point in the narrative, like, does the reader have to know? Like, I feel like the characters might already know, and they're just like, yeah, but we can't do anything with it, so why address it? Why make it more...
Right. I feel like, Kieran, I definitely agree that Kieran is aware. I feel like his whole monologue in 136 when he's like, getting all angsty and when he's like reflecting on the qualities he loves about her, it's like you're literally just in love. Like he's aware, and I feel like Lauren is becoming aware, but I don't know if she's quite there yet. Like I think there's been some moments where she's sort of reflected on how he's gotten close when she didn't intend for them to be close, and of course in 142 when she refused to let him back out of the partnership and told him she trusts him. So I think we're getting there with Lauren, but we're not quite there yet.
The little glances, especially like in the past couple episodes where she looked at him and she was just like, I hope he's happy. Or she notices him smile. She's just like, I hope that he looks happy. And that makes
he looks happy.
Like, that is love, Lauren!
It really is. She's just, she's the blindest of all for a reason. It's just like, come on, Lauren.
Yes.
Like, look at that man in front of you.
Maybe that big, like, ominous narration at the beginning that's what it's referring to. I was in love.
Exactly. Wow. If only I'd known from the start was love, then could have spared me all this heartache.
Different.
I could have kissed him earlier.
I would be both very let down and relieved if that was terrifying. What?
I was let down because that has bothered me since the beginning, because I think if only I had realized what. Because it's getting to the point where I'm like, if there's a detail that we're missing, it's less of a twist and more of a major plot hole.
Yeah, well, I know, but a lot of people, myself included, have theorized, since of course we've seen, the protectee. There's that mysterious person who Kieran was kidnapped with, and we've seen in various flashbacks. It seems that person is likely dead, since there was, I can't remember the episode number, but when Kieran has the nightmare about Lauren after the factory arc, and he sort of sees the flashback of like, oh, it's like, a test, poor fool. And so I've seen a lot of people theorize that person was Dylan, since obviously also there's a huge mystery of what happened to Dylan. And so my guess / theory, I guess, is that the whole it would have been different is if they'd known from the start that they had that connection of Dylan, and that they sort of both could have resolved some of their traumas a little bit earlier by just having a conversation, and Lauren could have figured out, oh, so that's what happened to Dylan.
I like this new theory better. She's in love. I like that.
that also. I mean, I would love that.
Because, you know, for me, like what I'm terrified is that it all would have been different is because like, oh, now Kieran's dead because I didn't know something. So that theory that's what's like what's pressing on my heart. So
right.
Both of those are better.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed that Kieran will not die. I feel like
the only thing that makes me feel like he won't is because if he's dead, then he can't suffer more.
Oh God! Oh no!
This is how we do enough.
Yeah, you make a point. No, yeah. I also hold on to the fact that I think at various points they've said sort of the main theme of Purple Hyacinth is healing. I'm like, okay, you can't have healing if Kieran dies. Like that's not how healing works.
Might be closure for victims, but you know.
Well, anyone says.
Well,
who cares about them?
Which victims do we care about? Exactly.
Exactly.
Victims. The amount of paragraphs that I have gotten from Mindy over the past 2 years over defense of Kieran as a person and why he's not a bad person.
Oh my gosh. I literally have to do this weekly to my husband. He like maligns our darling. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God.
How dare he? Just because he murders people.
He has a reason. He was forced into it. Come on.
Yes, I've said this, but anyway. All right.
Shame on the husband for not understanding.
Yeah, I know.
I can't. Hey, you at least can talk to yours about it. I cannot. He's just like, this story sounds dumb. Like you're dumb.
Wow, that is a level. I think you need to play the podcast on like 24/7 all the time now as retribution and rehabilitation.
Rehabilitation.
Wait, Purple Hyacinth for rehabilitation, Mindy? Are we reading the same comic?
Oh, the podcast. He has to see how amazing it is. All right, whatever. So Kieran nods and he looks down, and Lauren notices his downcast expression. He does not look happy. He doesn't look settled. You know, this should be a happy moment where they've successfully not killed someone. But no, he's not happy. And Lauren says, what's going on? Which again, just shows she is attuned to his signals. She can read his expressions, and she is sympathetic enough and open enough to talk to him about it. That's gorgeous. And
it's so good.
Yeah. And his expression next panel is once again, like, I think just revolutionary. First of all, he looks like he's about to cry. Like he has the trembly lip look. And he is so vulnerable in this next conversation. Like, I don't think he's ever shared his feelings like this.
Oh my God. No, it's, oh my God. I was freaking out when I read this.
It's amazing. This is, okay. So, you know, what do we say? Like, you know, men have their physical thing, but for women, like this is like emotional porn. Like emotions are our porn. Yeah. This is like, just makes us melt inside when people tell us their feelings.
So good. And yes, no, like, so the vulnerability in him acknowledging that he's scary. Like, he's the Purple Hyacinth. Even though we've seen some of his vulnerable side lately, we're still used to him as being this very, like, you know, badass person. He is. But then you see this inside of him where, like, he's terrified. And when you think about the fact that he's terrified, even considering all that he's been through, and he's terrified because of Lauren, and I'm not okay. I'm losing it.
Big grin on your face, so I mean, like, I don't know what your version of I'm not okay. You're like,
that's true.
I'm very okay. I'm so okay.
I am thrilled by the fact that I'm not okay.
We are
they're getting emotionally torn apart. Isn't it great?
It's
amazing. I know, it's terrible. Okay, now it's like, we're going from this humor to like this very serious like talk. I kind of feel bad. I feel bad that we're laughing when we're like Kieran's sharing his heart and pouring his heart out. I know. So he looks at her with this like incredibly vulnerable, like open, not hiding anything expression. He says, I'm scared, Lauren. For the first time in a very long time, I am scared shitless. And his face is in shadows. He's not looking at her right now. He says, I don't want to kill again. I don't want to obey them anymore. I didn't have a choice before. I always fought alone, killing to keep up the appearance. And this is the Chandelier Man, right? The flashback. It's that's his first.
Oh yes,
killer.
yes.
But the person that he's making eye contact with here, they look younger. I don't think it's Chandelier Man. And this person that he's making eye contact with, he looks, I don't know. It doesn't, and they're incredibly close.
Yeah,
I think it's the same panel. It looks familiar to me. Do you guys remember what episode that was in? I can't.
Yeah,
remember.
no, I think they're kind of like making a blurring of like all of the moments that he has like the biggest regrets. But this eye contact,
oh yeah,
this is new. This is new.
Yeah, that is very, very close. Like they're practically touching their faces.
And that kind of looks maybe could be blonde, but that hair is not. It's not black. Could be white, maybe in the correct lighting.
Really?
Yeah,
it's Chandelier Man. I'm pretty sure. I mean, the only thing that says maybe not is the art style doesn't look old, but it looks like newer. But I'm pretty sure it's Chandelier Man.
I know we'll have to go back and see if we can find that one, but it looks different to me, and I don't think like when he killed that guy, I think he had his like his head down, and when he said do it, like he had his eyes shut.
Yeah.
And this is very close, intimate eye contact. So I think this is different.
I thought, you know who I thought it was first? I thought it was Rosa. What's his name's daughter? Sandman's daughter for some reason. Anyway,
interesting.
The blue eyes. I don't remember the blue eyes from the Chandelier Man. For some okay, whatever. We'll go back. I'm sure someone has mentioned it on the Discord already. Like I have not been on the Discord because I just read it and came right here.
Oh yeah.
But, like, yeah, I'm sure we'll. Wait. I feel a duty to go back and look for it.
Yeah, what episode is that where we see Chandelier Man?
It's 𝗵𝗵𝗱 like.
There are people like you can ask about a panel and they will give you like a chapter number. They're like, oh yeah, this is what that.
I'm doing it. I'm opening up Discord live.
I love
it.
Y'all.
The panel where Kieran is flashing back to his murder. Is that Chandelier Man? Which episode do we see him kill him? Thank you. Okay. All right,
waiting on update.
Exactly, a live reaction.
Right. Live podcast question to the experts.
To the experts.
78. You see, Bundon said it in 3 seconds.
Oh my god,
Which
amazing.
78.
78. Love
see,
that.
I told you. We are not the true fans.
Oh my god, amazing.
Interesting. Okay. Wait, scrolling.
Okay, haunting.
Yeah, it's the panel. It's the panel. It's the panel. It's right here. See? This is 78.
Oh, yes.
Okay, you got me, Mindy.
Yes.
My memory is worse than 9.
Oh, yep.
Okay.
Okay, you got me. I got excited for a second. I was like, new information.
All right, so back to the panel.
Okay, yes, back to
Sorry, that was me. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fair.
So he's flashing back and remembering. He says, I don't want to do this anymore. And he thinks it was my only way to climb and get close to the leader. But things have changed since I met you. And we see another flashback of what? Is this the Hanover Street thing? No, it's
I think Hanbury Street, right? At the time when like the streets literally ran red with blood.
Yeah. And Lauren tries to comfort him and she says, you're not alone in this fight anymore. With you, Dakin, Tristan, we're finally gaining ground on them more than ever before. Oh my god. Kieran just now he's looking at her and he says, yes, for the first time, you make me feel like there's hope. Method to accomplish my goal without killing. And then he sighs. He says, but it only worked this time because you knew the target. A desperate measure in a desperate moment. And he looks very intense. One you helped me pull off perfectly, but, and he looks over the bridge, looking at the water. He looks regretful. He's sad. I won't be able to stage my murders indefinitely, though. It isn't a solution. They'll catch on eventually if they haven't already. I could hide, try to disappear. But if Dakin doesn't gain ground quickly enough, they will come after you.
Oh my god. Like, of all of that.
My vibe. Get out of here. My husband is like doing fake fainting in the background. He's just like,
Yeah, well, that's exactly how he should be reacting.
Exactly.
He knows. He's finally learning.
His language is sarcasm. That's all he speaks.
Oh my god! Just the way Kieran is just—he's basically at this point just straight up confessing his love. Like it's in 142. I was talking to some friends earlier about this. We have him saying he's not indifferent to what happens to Lauren, just like the understatement of the century. And then in this episode, we get him basically saying that she's the most important person to him because. If he's terrified, they'll come after her, and if they do, it will work. He will do whatever they want to keep her safe, and just
That's
can't
it.
even form words.
That's that. That's it.
That's the fan fiction I wrote for you a couple months ago. That's exactly what happened. Only that was
it was not a good ending.
Oh no!
We did not get the same ending. I was just like,
oh no.
Because this is what we love to torture ourselves with. Pain.
I mean, are you really a PH fan if you don't love this story?
Mm-hmm.
No, the development. I'm just like, when is he just gonna come out and say it that he's in love with her? Like he's clearly aware of it.
He's basically said it. The ball is
exactly. Exactly. He's all but confessed. Like this is a love confession. He just didn't quite say the words "I love you," but like it is a love confession. Lauren, like she makes some progress with you with a little hand touch. Like that's nice, Lauren. But like, when are you gonna do more than that? Like, come on, we're all waiting.
I mean, like the man did like assault her and like other stuff, but
true. But I mean, I think she's over that. I mean, I feel like in 142, I feel like that kind of proved once and for all when she was saying like I'm not afraid of you and who you are, taking off his glasses just to really show him and not like the archivist him.
Well, another thing
him. I'm just like.
Another thing that's kind of been a theme in the story consistently anyway so far has been Lauren kind of seeing through her own ignorance, like looking at herself, how she held herself up to the standard and she thought this was this and the police were this and our city is this, and then slowly starting to learn that it's not everything she thought she was, and she's not everything she thought she was, and there are flaws in places she didn't expect to see flaws. So I think like potentially one of the biggest things that could be is if she is going to love Kieran like that, what does that say about her as a person? And is that a character? Is that going to be a something that she's going to conflict with herself as her character? Or I don't know if that's going to be addressed. I kind of hope that it might be as kind of a reason why she might struggle with those feelings.
Right.
I guess we'll have to see, because like deep down she knows what he is. Like she said earlier, like that she's not afraid of him. But being afraid of him and being okay with aligning herself with him and giving her heart something like that, that's a completely different thing.
That is true. So I know sorry, I didn't cut you off. I definitely agree with all of that. I know also in that same episode 142, when before Kieran enters the room and she's sort of thinking about things, she's like thinking about the fact that her parents were apostles, and she sort of like thinks into herself and sort of smirks like, oh, like there's their daughter, like working with the 𝗵𝗲𝗁𝗲𝗍, working with like a notorious assassin. And so I feel like on some level she's okay with it, in the sense of like the fact that she's able to like think that and even like smirk to herself like, haha, I can't believe I'm working with the 𝗵𝗲𝗁𝗲𝗍. But also there is
implication though that the ends justify the means. For her falling in love, there is no ends justify means.
Exactly. No, it'll be really interesting to sort of see her grapple with that a little bit and sort of I want her to realize, since I don't think she is fully aware, I want her to sort of realize that she has developed these feelings for him and is sort of in love with him, and sort of be like, wait, how do I am I okay with, like, I'm feeling these things, like how do I feel about the fact that I'm having these feelings for him, like he's what
in a similar way that she reconciled, how do I reconcile the love for my parents knowing that they were apostles, like where she had that moment, she's just like, what does that mean? What the people that they were, is that memory intact? And she had to question that. It would be kind of cool to see something like along those lines kind of reflected back. Be like, okay, what, because she's really having to question what's right and wrong this entire time.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
To turn it back around and make it kind of a similar thing, as long as they don't drag it on for 50 chapters or 100 chapters.
Yes.
Interesting. I actually think that she kind of is past that stage just from how she interacts. I totally hear your point logically. I do see, like, from her reaction, I think she accepts him as he is. But listen, I think there's always room for that.
Yeah.
So Lauren's trying to comfort him and reassure him, right? Kieran's being all worried, and she's trying to like calm him down. She says, everyone is going to make their move in the next few days, maybe in a matter of hours. And she's,
Can we pause?
What?
Can we pause for just 2 seconds? Yeah. Just because I love the switch from her face where he goes, and if they get you, it will work. And we've got the shocked look on her face. And then she transitions and she's like, well, anyway.
Yes, this girl is not comfortable with her emotions completely.
Well, I don't like, she's not ready to confront it. She's like, very interesting. Okay, I'm the source of blackmail. Anyway, moving on. You know what we could do.
I think it's also interesting how lately, the past like several episodes, we've seen a lot of her comforting Kieran. Like, again, you know, in a few panels later, we see her reassuring him that he did the right thing, which is, you know, similar to how in 135 she tells him that, you know, choosing to stay within the Phantom Scythe, take it down, like, you know, you made the right choice. And I think it's really interesting how lately we've been getting a lot of Kieran scared for Lauren, and Lauren just completely deflecting that and refusing to let him be scared, and just being like, no, I'm fine, you're fine, we're fine, like, we're gonna get through this together, you're doing the right thing. And it's just I love that.
There was a commenter who said that, I forget which, on that chapter, that she said Kieran tried to break up and Lauren went to their house.
Yes, I saw that one as well. I love that.
That's great. Yeah, and she like turns toward him and you see her hand like snaking forward on the bridge railing. And
why does she look
shoulder?
Why does she look like a man in this panel though? Like, why?
I know she does not.
Maybe it's just me.
No, I noticed that.
She's looking at the suit, but I feel like she makes it work.
Oh,
whatever. It's fine. There can be a bad drawing here and there, or, you know, less identical.
Different angle.
Yeah. And she says the royals know the apostle's identity. The parlay is getting closer and closer. And now she puts her hand on his shoulder. Oh my God. And she says everything is and will be changing, Kieran. You and I will not be their priority. But what?
Oh my God.
Wow.
The intimacy. And again, with just we've been getting so much of this lately, and it's just like, again, with, I think it's 135 again, where she has a similar thing. She puts her hand on his shoulder to sort of like comfort and reassure him. And it's just the little shoulder touches. I'm just like, they're so good. Just the way she keeps doing them, just to sort of like, almost knocked for my coffee. But yeah, the way she keeps just reassuring him with the hand on the shoulder, and it's so good.
This is like, but I don't know about you, my heart is racing just
to
alone.
Oh, absolutely.
I was like, my husband was like, okay, I actually thought he asked, don't be too late. He actually asked me not to move something because I have terrible hearing, so I couldn't hear what he said. But anyway, I was like, no, this is a really exciting episode. I can't make it short tonight. I'm gonna be yelling really loud. So if you want to go to sleep, just like try to go to sleep. I'm gonna be yelling because it's in my bedroom that I'm recording. So I'm like, yes. Like, why? I'm like, she put her hand on his shoulder because he put his hand in her face. And he'd be like,
oh my God.
The reality of us Purple Hyacinth fans though, they're like, man, they must have like kissed, like somebody like hooked up. Like, no, she touched his shoulder.
Yes.
Like,
it's you
prejudice levels, like
you know the slow burn is real when we're freaking out this much over shoulder touches and a cheek caress. Like, we're losing our collective minds because of that. And it's like, you know it's a real slow burn.
I stand firmly by the fact that a cheek touch is one of the most romantic things that can ever be done. It is more romantic than anything else. Yeah. I value it personally at like way more than any other physical gesture that has ever been done.
Valid. It's so valid.
And tearful forehead kisses.
It's just it's so soft and emotional. Oh my God. I need it.
Yes.
Seriously, indeed.
And this is why the podcast is comprised 99.99% of women. There has been males on this podcast because the women have different tastes and they like different.
I love that. Yes. Yeah, male gaze versus female gaze. It's a real thing.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now that we're not at all finished bugging out,
No.
We're not finished bugging out. There's more to come.
Oh yeah, always.
And it's just beautiful, and he's accepting it. He's just looking down, dejected, and he's accepting the shoulder touch, and he's accepting the comfort. It's so beautiful, and they're so close, and it's so amazing.
That he's past the point where he looks at the touch in shock. Like, he's no longer at the point where her touch is just like, oh my gosh, she's coming within 3 feet of me. Back up.
Yeah, the way he just sort of like dips his head slightly and sort of just accepts her comfort, accepts her touch, lets himself be comforted by her words, even though he's still scared.
Oh God. Oh. Okay, words, maybe words. So, here's what he says. Nevertheless, I'm scared that they'll discover you've helped me on top of everything else that we've done together. I'm scared. And then we looks at her. Oh God. Okay. I'm scared I'll be cornered into doing it again. And more than anything. Okay. He takes his hand and he I can't. What's it?
Breathe. You gotta breathe.
Deep breaths.
Again. No, you can do this. And he puts it. He puts it on her face, under her nose. It touches her face. And then he takes his whole hand and he just puts it on her cheek.
All 3 of us here have never been touched by a man in our life.
I'm like 20 years old.
Oh my God.
Puddles.
Exactly.
This is just the most the ultimate, the zenith, the climax, this is just, it has never been topped before. This is
It's so intimate and so emotional and just so soft. That's what I can't get past. Just that like soft, tender affection between them. It's so good, and I'm.
I know that we're focused on the eyes and the facial expressions, but I would kill for full body shots of this.
Yes.
I need the body language, but not just the eyes. I need the shoulders. I need the hands. I need to know how many inches of space are in between each body.
We need we need to write this moment. I don't
absolutely
right, but I might just sit and I know I don't have time. But anyway, I want to do it because this is just he's finally like saying without words, I love you. This is like unprecedented.
Absolutely. And just the expressions, like as much as I want the full body shots as well, I love the close-ups on the faces just to see just that look of surprise in Lauren's face, and then in the next panel, just that intensity in Kieran's gaze, the way his brows are furrowed together as he's caressing her cheek. I was losing it. I'm still losing it.
We're lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just have to point out though, like as they look at each other and she's looking, the one that flinches and snaps out of it as they look like they're getting closer, it's Kieran. It's not Lauren. Lauren's like there.
So it is
Kieran's the one that sits there. Lauren is like, she's got that lower lip drop thing, like she's breathing heavy or whatever, but she didn't back away. He's the one who backed away.
I think it's really interesting I feel like we've seen recent things, like in terms of, the whole, everything which happened in 42. Like I feel like, in 142, then we do see Lauren telling him she's not afraid of him, she trusts him. And so I feel like we've seen that Lauren has kind of forgiven him for that and really has moved past. But then you still see Kieran, like, in 136, touching the sketch of her and seeing the graphite turn to blood on his fingers. And so I feel like to me, it seems very clear moved on and healed from that trauma. Kieran still is tormented by the guilt he feels over having hurt Lauren. And I think he's still scared of letting himself be close to her because he still feels like, I don't deserve this. Like, she deserves better than me. And so, of course he's going to pull away because he doesn't like himself.
Anyway, Mossy, we're like making the same expressions the whole time.
I love that.
consistently for you, Mindy. The Kieran self-hatred instantly makes you like, it turns you into a puddle like every time. She's like, I know.
I'm a sucker for traumatized men. It's not normal, okay? In my real life. Oh. It's like the more trauma, the more I am in love with them.
Oh no.
I've always been like this. Just like Kieran tried to tell Lauren. Well,
Solid.
Yeah, it is. That's how it is. Oh my gosh. But yeah,
It's
I was so
so
happy
good. Yeah.
away. I was like hoping. I was like, maybe they're gonna do some more.
I know.
But they didn't.
Oh, I
Just
didn't
like
expect like I was just like, no, that's not that. I didn't even, that thought didn't even enter my head. Like it took me a second, or like, oh, was that an almost kiss? I didn't even think about it. Like,
Well, I was literally trying to analyze the panels. I was like looking at the angle of Lauren's face when you mentioned that her lower mouth is open. It's like, is she leaning in for a kiss? Is that like, is she moving forward?
Oh my
full
god.
body shots. I need full body shots.
Oh, seriously. Oh my god.
And I can only imagine what my husband thinks right now as I'm screaming in the living room.
Oh my god. It's not like you think. It's not.
Oh man, that's so good.
Honey.
Oh,
Oh, I love that.
oh my gosh. Yeah, this just reminds me. Remember what episode was it? I can't. It was oh my gosh. Don't remember. I can't remember episode number. There was the first episode, it was in the cave and he was taking off his shirt, and that episode was just lust. And second episode, gnarly guilt, it was 136 maybe. It was
135, 136.
It was all emotion, and yeah, he still had his shirt off, but we were just like so heartbroken for him. Like we didn't even mention it because we are here for most of the time. But
yeah. I
my
mean,
gosh.
yeah. Only thing I love more than a shirtless man is a shirtless traumatized man.
Feeling his guts.
Mossy, you okay? Like if I said 𝗪𝗯𝗰𝗶𝗄𝗏 before Christmas, like, but like, you good?
Oh no, it's fine. I'm fine. It's fine. It's we're all good over here.
Yes. So now, he unfortunately pulls his hand away, which makes me very upset. But whatever. There's more time. And yeah, I think he pulled his whole body away because look, he's like pretty far from her here. In the next shot on the bridge, he turns around. He's not facing her anymore. But then there's a whoosh because Lauren comes back to him, and she don't let him get away with this pulling away business. She comes back and she puts her hand on his hand. Physical contact is reinitiated. She says, "You made the right choice, Kieran." The affirmation.
It's so good.
No, what about the tears in the eyes directly afterwards? Like you can see them right.
Oh my god, it's so true. I know.
I just because I was reading it like right before I came, right? I didn't. I'm going to bed tonight. That's it. I'm sobbing myself to sleep. Oh my gosh.
He's like about to cry because Lauren is reassuring him again for the second time in recent episodes, reassuring him that he made the right choice, he's done the right thing, and that he is a good person. I just
and like forget the last time like he cried. When's the last time he cried in front of somebody? Like or cried, period. Like have we even seen him cry? No, this is all a first. Like
we did get some tears in his eyes in 136, I think. I mean, again, it wasn't in front of anyone, it was just by himself. But when he was sort of like thinking about like the painting and everything, the discussion with Lawrence, we did see tears. Actually like tearing up in front of Lauren, that's big.
Lauren is a safe space.
This is just heaven in a phone or whatever device. Heaven in pixels. I can't believe it. I can't believe I missed that. What was wrong with me? Wow. Oh no.
You just got off of we went straight from shoulder touch to cheek touch to hand touch. So you were still like the brain was still exploding. You did not notice the eye.
𝗪𝗯𝗰𝗶𝗄𝗏. And she continues, she's like, no matter the consequences, no matter what awaits us, notice the us. It's the us. They're together.
Yes.
And the water behind, by the way, just saying, makes a nice setting. Like,
definitely.
The shimmering blue water matching his eyes. He's got gorgeous eyes. Anywho.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Obviously a sucker for blue eyes, but anyway. He says, you made the right choice. We'll manage from then on, which happens to be, as an aside, I love that philosophy where like you just do the right thing, and whatever the consequences are, you just have to always do the right thing. And like whatever happens. I love that. I think that's the only way to live life. So I'm very happy about that. And he shuts his eyes. Oh no, it's so sad. So sad.
Oh my god, it really, it's just the way he just closes his eyes and just like fully absorb her words and just take it all in and just think about what she said, and just it's my heart.
And it's more vulnerability. Like he's showing her how seriously it's affecting him emotionally, how worried he is, how stressed out he is. Like
definitely
really, really just being all out there. And then Lauren, makes it funny. She's like, besides, don't forget, I can combat. I'm fairly sure I'll be able to defend myself. Which I'm like, oh my God, you guys are like walking around. A bullet to your head right now would knock you out.
Yes! How arrogant can you be, Lauren? Like, not to mention, didn't Kieran just get his butt beat to a pulp just 40 episodes back and like walking around with internal bleeding? Like, but you're like, oh, but I'll be fine.
Yeah, I guess I interpret it more as just, again, with her trying to comfort him. Like, yes, it is true that if Phantom Scythe actually comes for them, they're in deep shit. And I it's been hinted at for so long that something with either Lauren's gonna go into the underworld or something's gonna happen. Like, I'm just waiting for that. There's been so many hints, so many things leading up. I'm like, something big is gonna happen. But yeah, so so when it does, since I think it will happen, it's gonna be a problem. But I think in this moment, Lauren is just trying to lighten the mood with humor the way he often does with her. Which is just
but she is still overconfident. I don't think she's fully understands what they're capable of. And definitely, then also, I think Kieran, Lauren, and the readers are all sitting at a table, and we're all connected to the same like electrical shocker. And Seth and Asaf and I can't speak. They're holding the switch that we're all just like waiting to get zapped, and we don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, no, I feel like also with this episode, of course, there's been numerous comments throughout the course of this season about Lauren, like, wanting to go into the underworld, so trying to tell Kieran, like, oh, I'm just as good for that, and him being like, nope. And then again with this episode of him saying that he doesn't want to kill anymore, but then with also saying that if they use Lauren to blackmail him, it would work. I'm just like, is this setting up something big? Like, is something going to happen to Lauren? Or are we going to see him like go full on rage mode to protect Lauren? Because I kind of feel like we might.
This is missing a "who did this to you" moment.
Ooh, yes.
Wow.
The trope.
We're just honestly, we're like, sign us up for all the tropes.
Sure.
We're all in one bed. Come on, let's just throw them all in. Let's do it all.
No, sometimes I'm like, as an English major, I'm like, I should try and think of like, I should appreciate like original story ideas, and I do, but sometimes I'm just like, just give me all the tropes, give me all the cliches. I just want it. Just please. I don't care how cliche it is, just give it to me.
Like, make the story the equivalent of my Archive of Our Own's tag filters. Like,
exactly. Just hit me with all the emotional cliches, please.
Yeah. I'm like literally at the point where I flip through a book to decide whether to read it or not. I'm like, if there's no romance, I'm not reading it. I'm sorry. I have better things to do with my life.
Valid.
I got into my book. Hold on.
Fine. I'll make an exception for some books, for fiction books. And then Kieran laughs back and he's like, oh, you think you can beat my ass? I'll believe it when I see it. And she smiles because I think she's like kind of happy that she, like you said, lightened the mood. And she's proud of herself. Oh, okay. And that's the end of that scene. Have we properly processed that scene?
No.
Never.
No. I have my emotional support animal. It's not working.
That's why you came across it tonight. You knew when it needed to be there for you.
Yeah.
She's like Purple Hyacinth chapter 151. Are you ready? Oh my goodness, I am not. But like, I love also how Lauren has become the sarcastic, flirty one to make all the jokes, and Kieran's the one just like following her around, because it used to be the other way around. Kieran was the sarcastic, flirty one, and now Lauren's taken up that role, and I kind of love it.
Yes. Yeah, no, I think it is really interesting how, again, like, that the roles have been flipped. I feel like, I think it's development for both of them, because, Lauren is kind of emotionally closed off in a lot of ways, and so she's sort of loosening up and allowing herself to like flirt a little bit and joke around and not be so serious and uptight. And Kieran, who uses the sarcasm as like a mask, is sort of letting himself be vulnerable and actually genuinely open up. And I love those developments so much.
They're made for each other. It's a match made in hell.
They really are. Yeah. Match made in hell.
She said they were match made in hell, but I don't care. She was wrong.
Well, she did say, but not a bad one. So it's, I don't know.
I think one of the things, there's always something that you can say, like, as far as like, Mindy, I've always had certain criticisms as far as like some of the things like the pacing, some of the plot choices and that kind of thing that you can always discuss for like hours. But one of the things that I really appreciate that it's always done really well is that, at least especially with Lauren and Kieran's character, that has remained, as far as I can tell anyway, it's consistent. We haven't seen anything out of character. We've seen the go from him being sarcastic and quippy to now being vulnerable. It's been smooth. It's been slow. I think it's been as natural as it could be. And that's hard to pull off with a, traumatized male assassin character. Like, it's not easy to do. And I love how it's been so gradual to the point where we can barely notice it happening until we look at point A to point B and then we see it.
Yes.
And I love that really well. And I can't like that, I just want to give credit where credit's due.
Oh, definitely. No, I think it's also, I fully agree with all of that. I think also for me, having entered the PH fandom fairly recently, my seasons 1 and 2 I just binged completely, whereas season 3 I binged the beginning of it, and then since Circus Arc 2.0 have been reading it weekly, and I'm honestly I'm not looking forward to that hiatus, obviously, but once there is a hiatus, I'm looking forward to rereading all of season 3 and binging, because I feel like it's so interesting. There are so many, like, that slow development, like you said, it's very smooth and really well done. I think since it is so smooth and so slow, it's the type of thing where you don't even really realize until you sort of go through and sort of read it more quickly, because week to week it's sort of just like it's so subtle, it's hard to notice the change. So they're like, oh, wait a second, we're at this point, when did we get here? That's you go back, like, oh, wait a second. There has been a lot of development.
100%. I love what you said, Meg, because like I read a lot of webtoons, and some of them, the romances, it's not even a matter of how fast it is. The characters are just not that well built up. Like, they don't have the personalities that, like, their story progression is just not satisfying. And this is so satisfying when we're freaking out because of how well built up it is and how meaningful it is and how their characters have been, shown to be, first of all, like the opposite, right? The emotional switch has been tremendous. Like Mossy, I was going to ask you, like, which books do you read about storytelling? Because one of the books that I read that really impacted how I view stories is Story by 𝗵𝗵𝗱. And he talks about how we feel the impact of like a scene change with the emotion has to switch from like a positive to negative or negative to positive. And that gives you like impact. So the reason that this is so meaningful to us is because they changed completely. Like, Kieran went from, distrustful, all alone, and Lauren also went from pretty solitary and alone and prideful, and now they're together and they're open, and it's just the switch is what makes it so meaningful.
Yes, absolutely. No, it's for sure. Actually, I haven't really read that many books on storytelling as a craft. I feel like it's obviously, doing English literature as my undergrad major, the topic comes up a lot when analyzing books, but it's sort of more just like for that specific book, and sort of, you build knowledge and sort of overall looking at a whole bunch of books. But no, I fully agree that, you need that emotional aspect. And I feel like, whether it's webtoons or other books, there are many stories I've read which just lack that grip, and sort of there isn't that build up, and you don't get to see those character arcs either at all or like as smoothly. And it's just the pacing in 𝗵𝗱𝗱 Hyacinth, at least for the Lockyer relationship, I think has just been so well done, because it has felt very smooth and sort of like a natural progression. Of course, there have been bumps along the road, but in ways which feel very natural, and sort of it's really such a treat to watch them both developing on their own, and then also how that impacts the development of their relationship together.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be freaking out over every shoulder or cheek touch over most two characters. And
exactly.
It literally reduces us to like we're splitting over here. Mindy's hands are going all over the screen. Like we're all puddles. Like not every character can do that or pull that off that level of
exactly
that much. And that's good. Like you can't argue with things of the heart.
Yes, not everything can turn 3 adult women into blushing schoolgirls. You know,
Yes.
I don't know.
It's impressive that 𝗵𝗲𝗱𝗄𝗃 can.
Women, but you know.
Right. Yes. I like that's funny. All right, so now we move on to the second half of the chapter, which by the way is a very Sophan F thing to do. They have like a chapter and sometimes they have like, you know, a couple of kind of scenes or pieces, and then they always end with something like intriguing or mysterious.
I'm not gonna lie. It cut to black and I was like, I don't care anymore. Like this
Really?
well, I do not care what happens now.
I will die happy. That's all.
I don't even need to see anymore. It's fine.
Yeah, basically. So, but this is like a typical thing they do. They end the chapter with something that, you know, compels us forward and that, you know, makes us wanting to know more. And so it's Ardhalis Police Headquarters. This is not District 9, District 11, I mean, right?
Yeah, I was wondering that. It's hard to tell
which precinct it is.
Yeah, because we haven't seen the exterior of the 11th precinct. And we've seen it a little bit, but we haven't seen it very much.
I don't think it looks like this. It's like gray. It has the big glass doors in front.
Yeah.
It's like square. This is, you know, has higher floors. I don't know. I don't think this is a different building.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say apparently I don't remember panels at all, so like I can't comment.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I since we've only seen the exterior like a few times, I couldn't remember exactly what it looks like, but I think you are correct.
I mean, we could go look back at it again, but I'm pretty sure also it says like 11th precinct or something.
I think
we saw it fairly recently. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm being.
It doesn't really matter. It's a precinct at this moment in time. I don't think it matters too much which particular precinct it is, but it seems like perhaps likely not the 11th.
Yeah, and we have our dear Sandman in front. He's very excellently silhouetted. The white light around him. I love the lighting. Oh my gosh, the lighting.
The lighting is always so good in 𝗵𝗲𝗱𝗄𝗃.
It is. It's amazing. Yes, it's awesome. And he has this briefcase, which, as we can assume, this is the briefcase of all the evidence that he's gathered. That's what I'm assuming, against the PS, which is like his last call before he is like, well, shoot me now, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, I feel it's very sad. It's a very decisive moment. He looks up at the precinct. I think he's like kind of looking his last night, basically, or like last day in the face. He has a cigar in his mouth, the final pleasure, you know, like the last supper type of thing, last meal or request. And he's looking at the flag of Ardhalis, and I think that he's thinking, you know, I'm doing this for Ardhalis. I'm doing this for the citizens. You know,
right. I think it's also interesting, like there's that as well, but then also so much of what we've gotten lately is the reflection, like, yes, of course, the Phantom Scythe is bad. They're a literal terrorist organization, but also the royal family have come.
Your tablet moved. Did you see that?
Oh yeah.
It moved. It moved panned like right.
It did.
Am I?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your tablet just moved right.
Yeah.
That's a tracking thing. I don't know.
I was looking at Mossy's face. I was not looking at mine. I don't think hold on, let me see.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, there it goes.
Oh my god. Okay. That's what it is. It's tracing my face.
Yes. Okay.
See, it's not
crazy.
Anyway.
Sorry, Mossy. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right. No, it's fine. It's fine. The mysterious haunted tablet. But so I think it's interesting, looking at it, so maybe thinking, you know, doing it for Ardhalis. But I think there's also, I interpret it as thinking, since again, the Phantom Scythe is bad, but the royal family has also committed a lot of crimes, like with Snapdragon. In so many ways, the Phantom Scythe is a response to all of their crimes. Of course, you know, it started out as a peaceful organization and then became what it is because of the massacre. And so I can't remember how much we know about how Sandman got involved in the Phantom Scythe to begin with, but I wondered if it was sort of partly like a sense of just thinking about like the city as a whole, but also of course it's the crest of the royal family, and sort of thinking about like the crimes they've done. And sure, taking down the Phantom Scythe is great, it's very important, but also what are you going to do about the other issues in the city? What are you going to do about the royal family and all of their crimes instead of the bigger issues at play?
Yeah, I think that you're right. And that's probably like part of his equation. It's like probably a bittersweet moment for him. He's like, I'm taking down the PS, but then what? So I think you're right. But at some point if you have limited choices, you have to make the best choice out of what you have.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I know. I think taking down the Phantom Scythe is obviously a good thing to do. They are a literal terrorist organization, but I think it's just there's been one of the things I really love about Hyacinth as a whole is sort of how there's sparked so many discussions between like Lauren and Kieran when they went to 𝗃𝗃chapel and sort of learning about Snapdragon, sort of the issue of like, yes, the Phantom Scythe needs to be stopped, but also they first arose to address a different issue, and taking out the Phantom Scythe will get rid of this one threat, this one terrorist organization. But yeah, what then? How do you deal with the fact the royal family? How do you deal with the issue they were created to address? That's still going to be there. It solves one problem, but could potentially lead to another problem just rising up to meet that same issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wish we would see more of Sandman. That's one of the things that I wish that feels like missing. It feels like almost with Sandman. I've loved his character. I love the short little glimpses we've seen him. But the information he drops almost feels like convenient information. Like I wish we got to see more of his story. I wish we got to see more of the investigating of his side and what he did rather than just like the little glimpses that we got. Because at the end of the day, like Purple Hyacinth is a mystery and I like watching the process. And I wish that we got to see more of that, or at least maybe saw Lauren help him with it rather than just have that one conversation, rather than just him disappear completely. Right. Because at this point, it just feels like his information all of a sudden is just very convenient information drops. Be like, oh, you want to know how we found it? Well, here is a suitcase that conveniently explains everything. Right. I wish we got to see more of Sandman in his process. I wish Lauren got to work with him more because saying the end of this episode looks ominous, and I don't know how much more we're gonna get of Sandman. I think we might be having
I agree with that. I'm holding out hope that we'll see Kieran's Sandman interactions. I think Sandman is going to die, but I hope that before he dies, we'll get to see him and Kieran interact. Of course, Kieran was the one who murdered his daughter, but also, Sandman is sort of. I feel like it should be a really interesting reflection. I feel like I know a lot of people have talked about how Sandman could in some ways sort of be like almost like a father figure to Kieran in sort of a weird, slightly twisted way. But like, of course, they both have and grief, and it's I think it should be a really interesting dynamic just to see them interact. And I think they've had in some ways similar experiences. So I think it could be really beneficial to sort of have them connect. And please let Sandman live a little bit longer at least so you can talk to Kieran.
I know this sounds awful, but I hope that Sandman is the one that is the ominous he's dead. I hope it's Sandman. I hope it's not like anyone else.
That was our original theory way back then, and then we kind of forgot about him and put Dakin up as the proponent instead, but I do think it's Sandman now. But
that could work.
I hope so.
Mossy,
I hope so.
Yeah, so I also thought that it would be nice if he and Kieran had a moment, but honestly, just from the way this episode ends, where he throws away the cigar and it's down on the floor and the light is dying, the fire is dying, and then he's like, okay, I'm he's heading to the building. I think that is just very symbolic that his life is ending. I don't think we're actually see him on the page anymore.
No, I totally see your point, and I even mostly agree with you. I just don't want it to be true. I think in some ways, it really is. It's like a great sort of symbolic death. Yeah, sort of. I mean, either because I feel like, since he's heading into the police department, obviously he has the information on the Phantom Scythe, but also he's a criminal. He's not just like an innocent bystander who's collected this information. And so, he's giving us information, but he could be arrested. And we all know what happens to phantoms who are in APD custody. They don't last very long.
I don't think he's not giving himself up though, because otherwise he would have gone in the middle of the day.
That's true.
What if Kieran is ordered to kill him and Kieran doesn't want to, but Sandman's like, it's okay, go ahead.
Oh yes, that would be so good.
His first and last murder.
Yes.
Could be that.
Yes. What if Lauren's there and she says goodbye and they make it painless and it's actually a sweet moment? What if
I do not want to see that. That is too much. Sorry, girl. Too much.
I'm all for Kieran being sent to Sandman, but no, just Kieran and Lauren
Imagine this, like Lauren's holding her hands and Kieran's standing behind him and Sandman's just holding, he's like, I'm sorry, Red. And then the sword comes through and they all cry and then Kieran's on one side and Lauren's on the other.
No, effort of hiding him in the countryside or something. No.
Oh God, that would hurt so much.
That would be tragically beautiful though. That would be
it would just be tragic.
It came full circle because at this point, like they're all making the biggest sacrifices in the world, but they've all like come together on what it is that they're sacrificing for, and these revenge and like the fact that he murdered his daughter, it doesn't matter because they all found something greater. Like it's kind of beautiful.
It can't end in death though. No, it's not. Sorry, self-sacrifice like that is not noble for me. I think he should try to make some effort to save his life and like hide him or something. That's what I think. But anywho, so we have 2 minutes left, and I don't want to like do another meeting again. So what are our final thoughts? Oh wait, I guess here's our corner first. Favorite panel? What's your favorite panel in this episode? Okay, mine is obviously this panel. We don't have to ask questions. The one with the hand, on the face.
Oh God, there's so many good ones. I think mine is also the cheek caress. It's a little bit hard to choose. There's so many good ones, but I think I'm gonna have to go with the cheek caress.
Yeah, cheek caress, or where she like settles up to him and grabs his arm and he's just like looking down and she's just like, hey, it's okay. That one's good too.
Yeah.
Probably definitely the cheek caress. I mean, I need full body shots.
Yes. When?
All right, if you had to describe your feelings.
Like looking up as Kieran's like looking down on her and holding her cheek. I needed to know, is there 6 inches between them? Is there 12 inches?
How many inches?
0 inches.
Exactly.
Like we could have done a month, take off a month and give me the full body shots. Like just, I will be fine. I will make it for a couple weeks without episodes. Just give me full lighting, full like everything. Just give it to me.
All angles, 360 degrees.
Yes. Yes, I need it all. Make the entire chapter that moment just from several.
Just valid. So valid. Exactly.
Beautiful. One word to describe your feelings at this moment.
Vulnerability.
Emotional.
Euphoric. It was so nice. Thank you so much, Mossy and Meg. This was a great episode to do together.
Oh yes,
great meeting you.
So fun to finally join. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was such a nice episode.
It was so good. I'm so glad I joined.
Yes, thank you. And I like their kitty and the tracking.
Yes. Exactly.
Well, she knows when the podcast is over.
Exactly. Right. She knows it's time.
I'm afraid we're just gonna like cut out. So I'm gonna
Oh yeah. Bye.
Right, bye.
Thank you to my current patrons: Susie, Lady Libris, Lily, Molly, Veronica, Emily, Joe Rochelle, Saucy Toggles, Anne Rose, Alexa, Misty, Joanne, Esther, and Watching You People, Emily, Jean, Jen, Kay, Lily, Beckett, Christine, Sadie, Teresa, Mrs. Castaldo, and Emma Cora. Your support is truly appreciated.